This morning, 17-year-old Ralph Yarl is sharing his story for the first time about the night that changed his life when he thought he was picking up his 11-year-old twin brothers from a friend's house.
When you go back to April 13th, tell me what happened when you go to that address.
Well, I go into the driveway, I walk up the steps, I ring the doorbell. I see 3 different cameras, like one looking at the driveway, one on the porch. As far as I know, I didn't know their family at all. Like, I had never even seen their friends or their parents before, so maybe this is their house.
Ralph mistakenly going to Northeast 115th Street instead of getting his siblings from Northeast 115th Terrace, 1 block away.
I actually wait a long time. I'm just on the porch. So then I hear the door open. I see this old man, and I'm assuming, oh, this must be like their grandpa. And then he pulls out his gun, and I'm like, whoa. So I like back up. He points it at me. So I kind of like brace, and I turn my head. Before that, I'm thinking, there's no way he's actually gonna shoot, right? The door is even open. He's gonna shoot through his glass door, and glass is gonna get everywhere. Then it happened, and then I'm on the ground. I fall on the glass, the shattered glass, and then before I know it, I'm running away, shouting, "Help me, help me."
Ralph says he ran to multiple homes until someone answered his plea for help.
I was bleeding from my head. I was like, how is this possible? Like, I've been shot in the head.
Had you ever seen that man before?
Never.
Were there any words that were exchanged before he shot you?
He only said 5 words. Don't come here ever again.
His mom, Cleo, concerned when her son never returned back home.
I was worried already that maybe he had gotten a flat tire or something. And then we got a call from a strange number, and it was the police stating that they had him.
What were the doctors initially telling you, Cleo?
Oh, they didn't have to tell me anything. I'm a healthcare worker. He was partially alert when we got there, but it wasn't a pleasant sight. It was traumatizing.
Shot twice, once in the head and arm, by 84-year-old Andrew Lester. In the aftermath, protests sweeping the streets of Kansas City after it took 4 days for police to file first-degree assault charges.
Justice for Ralph!
The shooter remains out on bond, telling investigators he thought Ralph was a burglar and that he was scared to death when the teen came to his door. Lester, who has entered a not guilty plea, shooting twice within seconds of opening the home's main door, saying he was protecting himself. Lester's attorney telling GMA in part that the court prohibits him from discussing the case, but that he's looking forward to the upcoming preliminary hearing. The Yarl family lawyer, Lee Merritt, calling for an investigation into the case as a hate crime.
What are your concerns of the legal process going forward?
Unfortunately, race is a major factor in who gets justice and who doesn't. And in cases where there's a white man and a black child, I've seen over and over again the criminal justice system contort itself out of shape to find a way to justify the shooting. And that is a concern for me here.
Miraculously, 10 weeks later, Ralph's made a full physical recovery, but the mental and emotional trauma still lingers.
There are a lot of things that are going on inside my head that aren't normal. I've been having headaches, trouble with sleep, and sometimes my mind is just foggy. Like, I can't concentrate on the things that would be easy for me to do.
You're looking at a kid that took the SAT when he was in the 8th grade. And now his brain is slowed. So physically he looks fine, but there is a lot that has been taken from him.
What do you want people to know about you, Ralph?
I'm just a kid, not larger than life, because this happens to me. I'm just gonna keep doing all the stuff that makes me happy and just living my life the best I can, not let this bother me.
As a passionate band kid, playing his clarinet brings Ralph the most joy.
You gonna play a little something for us?
That love for music helping uplift him during the difficult days.
Bravo! Bravo! Oh my. Wow. What was the name of that piece?
Deepwood.
Son, you can play.
Ralph dreams of pursuing a career in chemical engineering as he and his family work to heal.
What is justice to you in this case?
Justice is just the rule of the law, regardless of race, ethnicity, and age. He should be convicted for the crimes that he made. I am past having any personal hatred for him. He should suffer repercussions because that is what our society is made of. Trust in each other and reassurance that we can coexist together in harmony.
Okay, so I wanted to bring that update about Ralph Yarl. And like they said, the court date is set for August 31st and September 1st. So I will be keeping an eye out on that. Also, Andrew Lester, the demon who shot this young teen, is out on bond, of course. I'm sure his bond wasn't millions of dollars or $1 million or whatever. It was something he could manage. And the 5 words that he said to this young boy who was no threat: don't come here ever again. And that is the swan song of a racist, of a POS, and of a demon. How can you sit here and you look out your window, or you look and see this young man? He's not they couldn't say this big black man. No, he was a teenager. He's on the slimmer side. There is nothing threatening about him that they can use. He is a child. He was a 16-year-old child, and he was in the band, took the SATs in 8th grade, smart. That's why he was done that way. Whatever is come on now. Andrew Lester's family members came out and talked about him. They know who he is, how he is. There is a TikTok of a young Caucasian man who is saying that there are so many of them who know that they have racist family members and friends and people around them. They just don't say anything. That's not anything that we didn't know, but this is out from the horse's mouth. And his family came out and said who he was. So somebody comes to the wrong home. I mean, what if it was a worker? It's just a 16-year-old kid. Literally, he doesn't have grounds to stand on to say that he was afraid for his life and thought he was breaking in. Who in the F comes and knocks on the door or rings the doorbell to break into the house? Nobody else there, just him standing on the porch for the longest time, not twisting on the doorknob, not trying to open the glass door. If he felt that he could walk in the front door, why wouldn't he go to a window if he's trying to burglarize? Why would he do this in the daytime? That is the dumbest thing I have ever heard. And whoever told him to come up with that, they need to be hit in the throat, because they could have come up with something better. Maybe not, because they cannot use the scary big black kid who's a man trope in this situation. And I'm glad to see that he met his goal on his GoFundMe. 1 million passed. 2,500,000, because I'm sure he's going to have therapy. Even though they said he's healed, that means he's out of the clear, that, he can go on about his day. It's going to take a while for him to heal from this completely. He got shot in the head. I'm sure he's still healing from that. I'm sure he's going to have some therapy. I hope he takes advantage of everything that he can in order to get well. I can't wait for the excuses that are going to come out regarding Ralph. What was he doing? He knocked on the door, was standing there waiting for his twin brothers, and this evil man, can't call him human, but just shot him because he saw a black person standing there. No weapon, no threat. The glass door was locked. This wasn't him being afraid. He was geeked about this. He was happy about this. He wanted to shoot someone. I'm sure he had fantasies of shooting someone, and the cherry on top is this is a black kid and I can get away with it because they feel in this country it's racist and it benefits them. It does. And people who try and say it's no longer racist, that it's progressive, these people do things like this because they know that there is a system that is against black people. Like, that's a known. They feel like it's enough racists out there that can cover them and who will cover them, and they'll get away with it. That's why they keep doing it. Now, I liked everything that he said. I'm glad he didn't forgive him and let him off the hook. The only thing that I have is he should not said he has no ill will, because I want to be the person who blocks that energy for him. I'm not saying he should hold on to it inside of him, but if he has this disdain for this person who tried to murder him, it's not something that will just weigh on him. It's righteous. It's a righteous thing to have that. This person hated you so much that you were no threat to them. You just came to the wrong house and you had melanin in your skin, and they hated you because of that, and they were willing to take your life because this was their dream, to take the life of a melanated person. So if you don't forgive, if you say anything about them or people who take up for them or someone in their family that takes up for them, and you wish them ill will, there is nothing wrong with that. This whole Christianity, Jesus and the Bible told you to forgive is bullshit. I'm just going to say it is bullshit. You are not supposed to be forgiving your enemies. You are supposed to have a disdain and a hatred for God's enemies and your enemies. That's the only critique I have about that, is you do not have to extend yourself to someone who wanted to take your life. I'm not saying hold on to that energy and have it where it's affecting your life, but you can let it go and say, as he did, say that he needs to be held accountable for what he did. By the law of the land, he does need to be held accountable for attempted murder, because that's what he tried to do. And the horrible part is he ran from door to door, and those people were in solidarity with Andrew Lester, and they didn't want to help a 16-year-old boy who has been shot and needed medical attention. As much as they try and say on Sunday morning they are like Jesus and they help the poor and the needy, they sure as heck didn't help Ralph Yarl in his time of need, seeing blood all over him and him being shot in the head and screaming for his life. They probably just wanted to see him drop dead right there, and they agree with Andrew Lester. And I hope that, I said this, there was some people joking underneath the video, and I said, I believe the best teacher is experience. So everybody who has something negative or nasty to say about this young man, or who is laughing at him being shot in the head, I hope something happens to one of the children in their family that they're close to. And this goes out to the neighbors. This goes out to Ralph Yarl. This goes out to commenters across the world. If you have anything nasty to say about Ralph Yarl, or you're laughing at this circumstance, I hope for you. I pray to your white Jesus that you get the experience, because that's what you need. You need the experience of something happening like this or worse. And I don't care who likes it or who doesn't, because there are some disgusting people, disgusting racist people underneath these social media apps and platforms that are laughing at this young boy for being harmed. He could have had his life taken. And then they try and say they're not like their ancestors, but you see stuff like this. We're beyond all of that. Yeah, right. Okay, so I'll go ahead and end it right here. Let me know what you think about this update. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.